Standby.
Okay.
And action.
Was that too soft?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a story originator, I get this inspiration from my cousin, who is also an ex-convict, and my aunt, who is somewhat the same to the story. I feel like as a Malay family, it's hard, especially after being an ex-convict, right? It's hard for us to find a job, and then we also want to prove to our parents that we have changed. So I just thought of this idea, and also get an idea involving is the delivery rider, as I think people have a different mindset of like, oh, delivery rider had it easy job, they can earn money, but they don't know the struggle they face as well. So I decided to combine these two stories to like show people that, oh, this is different than what I thought.
In terms of the directing side, pre-production was a lot more chaotic. So other than just focusing on my own script writing, I also had to make sure that each department knew what I wanted and that I had a vision for each area. And for me, each department was very, very important in order to get the look of the film. I had many meetings with each department to make sure that they had the main idea.
It was kind of difficult for me to source out some of the props, as we have some color scheme we want to focus on and like a specific furniture we want. So it was kind of hard for me to keep searching, and sometimes that's my luck and sometimes we don't have luck, so we need to find alternative.
Our main house set had this, it was located beside the roadside, so I think that was a really challenging part of the whole thing. So we came up with this idea of putting up a sound barrier, and what we did was just use some cable ties and also just cable tie it to the window grills, and then after that taping it to the wall, hoping that it will like limit the amount of sound interference, and I think it worked a little bit.
For pre-production development, I have to create something new, which is I had to create a merchandise based on the film, because we have to make a delivery merchandise which to avoid any copyrights.
I'm really sorry, but we don't think you're the right fit for what we're looking for. Regrettably, you have zero...
Because I have a prison record, right? Forget it.
Stylistically, we wanted to go for a very traditional Malay look, and we did that through the art that we had inside the house, as well as through the music that we wanted to play.
The film Pesanan is based on like 2010 era for the character Kyrie. When he returned home, everything in his room is back to like 2010 kind of vibe. So whatever you have, especially the phones cannot be like, you know, like right now, all iPhone BB. Yeah. No, it's very small, so it's also troublesome to find actually.
In terms of the overall cinematography, like the colors and whatnot, I remember we started off having some crazy, colorful teal and orange ideas.
We created a warmer aspect inside the house to mimic the fact that in life itself, the only thing that brings him warmth is his mom. And we created a cooler tone to contrast with this warmer tone inside to show that in this exterior, it's a very cynical world out there where it's a dog-eat-dog world where it's hard to find jobs and he has to go through all these struggles.
Over time, you know, after thinking about it and having discussions, we thought that it would not really suit the film, so we ended up more with a muted color scheme where there should be just a simple neutral colors throughout the entire film. Nothing should stand out. The plan is to have it more focused on the character.
On the room itself, I wanted to focus on it being very monochromatic, to focus on how I wanted the house itself to look a bit more ancient, especially since this house itself was a depiction of Mak, like the mom, who is like very old. So we use dirty yellows, we use colors like dark browns in order to give that vibe inside the house. As a first-time producer doing final year project, it was really difficult for me to adapt, but luckily I did producing intern before the final year project, which helped me a lot.
It was a lot more challenging than I expected it to be. Like, I've been an assistant director for 3 years, but I don't think that it's been stressful on the same level as I was doing FIB.
One thing that is really hard for me is moving the huge furniture, and also when arranging the furniture, especially the frame, the Quran frame, we really need to be careful as we don't want to affect the owner's wall.
When we all go for roll, I'm the guy focus pulling. And during this shoot is actually the first time where I used the wireless focus puller. It was fun. I managed to know how to use it, how to set it up properly. I actually had genuinely fun doing it.
My worry was that it wouldn't look good because there were major parts that were removed, and I was just worried that it wouldn't make sense.
The most fun part about it all was during the bicycle scenes. Originally, we did it in a van, which we felt that it was a bit too dangerous in the end for simplicity and budget, that we just kept it. So I would sit in the car with the director, and then we would lower down the window and raise up the camera up to the window, and we just shoot outside there, and we just go along the pathway.
I think my favorite was during mock shoot because we used each other as the cast, so there were funny moments that continuously became an inside joke to each other. So yeah.
I like the outdoor shoot because like our focus pulling role is more challenging because it's not only a new pull, new pull, move, take everything, scan, move, take, move, help the tripod, move again. And it's very like place to place to place to place, unlike the house scene, which I find it's adventurous. Obviously it's more stressful, but I like it more. I like the thrill. So my favorite part about this group and a most memorable thing, or my favorite moment, would be actually how our relationships with each other developed over time. I heard from my friends that actually our group was kind of like a random mess of people, like who should never be together, like who never had a reason to come and work together. It was awkward, right? It was awkward, and so like through over time of all the filming and all like the production, my favorite part is definitely how we're able to just joke non-stop with each other on set. Although it has no impact on the final film, but I felt that it made the process a lot more enjoyable for everyone.
Number one, my prized possession, one and only.
The main thing I want audiences to take away from this film is about second chances. People seem to have this ideation that once someone has done something wrong, it's really hard for them to change, and to some aspects that is true. It also depends on the necessity of that person, as well as what the person has been going through. I want people to see through our short film of how these types of things, these moments in Kyrie's life that affect him in that way. And I want people to be able to relate to that, because in life no one is perfect, and everyone has gone through these different issues in their life, and nobody wants to be a prisoner in their own mind. I hope our audiences can take away the message of this story about second chances and look towards people in a better light and not be prejudiced towards people who might be from a low-income family or people who are ex-convicts.
I hope that the audience will enjoy the film and that our hard work has paid off.
Yeah!